Hello everybody, Wild Bill for America here, and it's time for headline news from a no-nonsense Christian perspective. Here at Outlaw's Chapel, our declaration is this: when the laws of men violate the laws of God, our duty is clear. We must obey God rather than men. Now, first of all, I salute President Trump for giving Sheriff Joe a presidential pardon. Sheriff Joe was essentially convicted of recognizing that 95% of all illegals who are breaking the immigration laws are Hispanic. In other words, Sheriff Joe got into hot water because he was locking up illegal Democrat voters. And now for some more corrupt court insanity. The most liberal court in the nation has absolutely violated the First Amendment rights of Joe Kennedy, the high school football coach in Washington State who was suspended for his terrifying habit of kneeling on the 50-yard line to pray for his students. Now, the God-hating liberal administration of the school punished Coach Joe for acting like a Christian in public, and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals declared that because Joe is a public employee, praying in full view of the parents and the students is not constitutionally protected. What a pile of baloney. The Constitution specifically says that Joe's actions are fully protected. There are no exceptions for public employees, or anyone else for that matter. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals violated the law. They violated Joe's constitutional rights and has taken yet another step towards the destruction of the Bill of Rights. Christians of America, do not let the enemies of faith intimidate you from demonstrating your Christian faith in public, especially when you're demonstrating your Christian faith in front of the younger generation. The First Amendment freedom of speech and freedom of religion was written by Christians specifically so that Christians in America would never have to undergo this kind of oppression. And to Coach Joe up in Washington, I invite you to join us at Outlaw's Chapel. We will stand with you. Remember what the apostles said when they were hauled before corrupt judges in the book of Acts? They said, we must obey God rather than men. So keep on praying, Coach Joe. And if I was in Washington State, I would join you on that 50-yard line. Now here's a courageous young college student in America who needs to be recognized and saluted. Brandon Jones is president of the San Diego State College Republicans, and he wrote a letter following the recent terrorist attack in Spain by Muslims. Jones wrote a letter challenging the Muslim Student Association, saying, quote, until radical Islamic terrorism is disavowed by the Muslim Student Organization at SDSU, we cannot move forward in creating an inclusive environment for all students on campus. Now, you would think that disavowing the cold-blooded murder of innocents would not be a difficult thing to do. But remember that the Muslim Student Association that has campuses, on campuses all over the country, are fronts for the largest terrorist group in the world, the Muslim Brotherhood. And instead of doing the right thing and disavowing terrorism, they launched a typical counterattack against Brandon Jones using the standard buzzwords of the left: racist, Islamophobic, etc. Included in the WorldNet Daily article were some of the vicious death threats that Jones received because he dared to challenge terrorists. Some of them even looked familiar. I get the same thing because I dare to stand up against the evil agendas of the left. Now, Jones says that his organization is standing strong and will not rescind their letter of challenge to the Muslim Student Association. Here we have a story where the sexual perversion insanity continues. The Washington Times is reporting that at the Rockland Academy in California, America's insane asylum, a first-grade girl was sent to the principal's office to be punished for referring to a little boy as he. Apparently the boy was a kindergartner, and the kindergarten teacher recently read a book to the children promoting transgenderism, and the kindergarten boy was declared to be transgender. In other words, the teacher made the boy into the class sexual pervert. Well, this poor little girl was heard on the playground using the wrong gender words and was marched off to be punished. Liberalism in action. Now, I cannot say this strongly enough to the idiotic, evil, godless left. Stop sexualizing our children as a way of forcing your perverted politics on America. Just leave the children out of it. If you have a logical, scientific argument for your transgenderism and whatever nonsense you have, then hey, bring it to the adults. Let's have open and honest discussion on the issues, but leave the children alone. Teachers like this are committing child abuse, and such child abuse should never be tolerated in America. Okay, back to some good news. Finally, somebody's going to prison for swatting. Now, if you remember swatting, that's when a villain calls the police with a bogus report on someone saying that they're violent and armed, trying to get the SWAT team to come running in and shoot the person. Now, anti-gun nuts have been trying this for some time now on open carry people who legally carry handguns. They call 911 saying that the person is armed and acting crazy and threatening people. Well, this swatting case is a little bit different. A young man called police on his online gaming opponents, saying that he was in their house, that he had killed 4 people and will kill cops if they show up. Well, the SWAT team did not handle it well. They stormed the house, and when Dad jumped up to defend his family, they shot him. Well, the young man who made the bogus call was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Now we need to start locking up the anti-gun liberals who make bogus 911 calls trying to get legal handgun carriers shot by police. And speaking of handguns, I do not like Glocks. They are the most unsafe handgun in the world, and their outrageous accident rate backs me up on that. Now, one of my favorite things to do is to poke fun at people who love their Glocks. More than one of them already have a scar running down their leg where their Glock shot them. Well, today I'm proud to announce that SIG beat out Glock to become the new handgun for the U.S. Army. Wow. 2 big victories in 1 month. Transgenders kicked out of the military, thus helping to maintain some semblance of moral standards in the world's most powerful military. And Glock handguns will not be accidentally shooting our soldiers in the leg. Sig Sauer has been building top quality auto pistols for many years. Their long double action trigger pull gives that critical measure of safety that the Glock fails to do. When men are under stress in a life and death situation, having a handgun that is not accident prone can really be a lifesaver. And to you Glock lovers who are preparing to curse me some more for disrespecting their ugly little babies, don't bother. Just stick a pacifier in your mouth and go fondle your Glock. And if it accidentally shoots you, just remember, I told you so. Well, this has been the Outlaw News, a service of Outlaw's Chapel, an internet Christian fellowship that breaks the churchy church mold. When the Bible is outlawed, I will be an outlaw. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for watching, and America bless God again.